don't take naughty pictures on your phone. It's not going to lead to anything good. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and just a little bit of a heads up. We try to keep this channel as G-rated as possible. Once in a while I lose my temper, but in this particular case we're going to be talking about a slightly sensitive topic. So if there are any parents out there who are listening to this video podcast style that have kids in the car, might want to consider changing. Because we're going to be talking about naughty photos on the phone. Now, here's the thing. I have never taken a naughty picture on my phone. I'm way too self-conscious to ever do that. I'm not going to take a pic or something like that. But people do this, and they do it a lot. It's actually kind of funny to think just how big this has become. And the thing is, when you take these pictures, like it's really weird how they wind up in people's hands. I one time found an SD card on the ground, picked it up, went home, checked to see if it worked. Lo and behold, it did, and it was like a 250 gig SD card, and there was a bunch of very, very naughty pics. I'm assuming of the person who previously had the SD card. Well, of course, I deleted them all, because I didn't want to look at that. I just didn't. And I, did put what, is far less creepy. Sailor Moon and Kingdom Hearts fan art. That was not nearly as creepy. But, that's me. And the thing is, when you lose information like that, whether it be an SD card or your phone, and you take pictures that are sensitive and private, you hope that the person who finds it will not take advantage of the situation. Unfortunately, sometimes they do, and that leads us to this, because there is a lawsuit against Uber that alleges a driver found phone and uploaded the explicit photos online. And there's a lot to talk about this story, so I don't know how long this video is going to be. It could be 10 minutes, it could be 20, who knows. But anyway, let's look at this. A new lawsuit filed Wednesday against rideshare company Uber claims a passenger left her phone in an Uber vehicle. And by the way, that is a very, very common thing. I think every Uber driver, even if you only do like 5 rides, you are going to have someone who leaves something behind in your car. More than likely, it's going to be a phone. And it says the driver found explicit photos of the passenger on the device and uploaded the photo onto the woman's social media accounts. Now, let's get another thing clear up front. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. If you happen to come across a phone or an SD card and there are explicit photographs on that device, you should return that to the owners without doing anything to them. If by some chance you can't find them, because here's the thing, I couldn't find the owner of the SD card, for example, so I had no way of giving that back. You owe it to yourself to delete those photos and get rid of them. You owe it to everyone. That's just called being a decent human being. But we'll talk about why this also shouldn't be as much of an issue later on. The woman, identified as Jane Doe in the lawsuit, rode the Uber after a night out with friends in October of 2017, according to the lawsuit. So it's really interesting that this is popping up like, what, 2 years later? But whatever. This Uber driver knowingly and intentionally hacked into my client's phone, searched through her photographs, and uploaded them to her Instagram account, John Christensen, attorney for the woman, said in a statement announcing the lawsuit. The Uber driver's conduct was illegal, outrageous, completely intolerable, and goes beyond all possible bounds of decency and reasonable behavior. I agree. This guy knew that posting these photos would cause severe emotional harm to my client, but he did it anyway with little or no thought into the consequences. And yeah, I would like to know what this person's thinking was. Did he think this would be funny? As far as I'm concerned, this is a complete stranger. Was this like revenge because she wasn't really that nice to him? Even if she wasn't that nice to him, this is not acceptable. So yeah, that's a legitimate complaint. The complaint was filed in the Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles, Stanley Moss Courthouse, according to the lawyers. Uber was not immediately available for comment on the lawsuit, but a representative called the accusation of the lawsuit troubling and added that the driver has not driven with Uber since October 2017 and does not have access to the Uber app. That might be, by the way, one of the reasons they're going after Uber. Well, first of all, Uber's got money. The driver probably doesn't have money, and it's clear he's not even driving for Uber anymore, so how do you even get a hold of him? But this does raise an interesting question. Are Uber themselves responsible for this? Because I blame Uber for a lot of things that drivers do when there's like an accident or there's a situation with a gun. I blame Uber because, you know, there's no training for that. But uploading explicit photos onto the internet, and especially on the person's social media account, that is illegal outside of Uber. So it's tricky. Now, here's the one area where it's like I don't always have a lot of sympathy with people in these types of situations. I do believe, and I know some people will get very upset with me for saying this, but I'm going to be honest, I think this can easily be avoided if you just don't take the pictures. And I know it's your right to take the pictures. If you want to have nudies of yourself or, you know, as Tom Hanks would say, little forest on your phone, then you know what? That's your First Amendment right. It's your own personal property. I don't understand why anyone would do it, to be perfectly honest. And especially to put them on a device that you're carrying in your pocket and you're going out with it and you could lose that item, the phone in this case. And I mean, yeah, you could like lock it. And I'm assuming this woman did have it password locked. However, some people are dedicated to hacking phones. He hacked the phone, saw the pictures, and for whatever reason decided it benefited him to post them on her Instagram account. Like, see, there's so much wrong with the situation on so many angles, so many different angles. I don't think those photos should exist. If they have to exist because you really want them, I don't think you should be carrying them around with you on a portable device that you could easily lose and anyone could find them. It's, you know, it's kind of like the whole situation with, like, you know, teens getting pregnant, and it's like they're talking about, you know, birth control and abortions, you know, what can you do to curb teen pregnancy? And, you know, my first response is like, well, tell them to practice abstinence. That's a surefire way that you won't get pregnant, but, you know, no one wants to talk about that. Kind of the same thing here. People, it's like, oh, I have the right to take pictures of myself, but I don't, you know, I don't think I should practice not doing so. So I think that's where the first mistake was made. But that said, this is not a case of victim blaming, because you know what? Again, it is her right to do that, and this driver was absolutely wrong to do that. Like, and I don't know why he did it. I mean, whatever his reason was, it wasn't a good one, that's for certain. There's nothing to truly be gained by embarrassing this woman. But now, of course, the question remains. Is Uber responsible for this? And what's really interesting is that apparently he hasn't driven for the platform since this happened. So he might have been doing that expecting that he wasn't going to be a driver much longer. I mean, maybe he wanted to embarrass the company. I don't know. Is Uber responsible for that? I mean, because that's illegal outside of... I mean, that's a very unique situation. I mean, when people go to like work for Walmart or Target, do they actually have in the training video, like if you find someone's cell phone and you hack it and you find nude photos, don't post them on the internet? Like, I don't think that's part of the training, because it's, you know, what are the chances? So, and this story has not really gotten a lot of headway, and I know this because this story was from a few days ago, and I'm uploading it late, and at least as far as the night I'm recording this, because this is when I will post up tomorrow in my time. So I'm recording this yesterday for those of you who are watching this, and no one's really talked about this, and it's so... It's amazing. So my personal opinion is that, and my advice to anyone, really, I wouldn't take those pictures at all. I'm too self-conscious to do it anyway, but I don't recommend anyone take those pictures. If you are going to take those pictures, I don't recommend sending them on a cell phone. I recommend keeping them on your personal computer, which can still be hacked, by the way, if someone should break in or a family member should hack it and so choose to share that stuff. I just don't, I think that if you take those pictures, you take them with the assumption that they're going to get leaked, even though it's illegal for that to happen and it's still wrong. And then I don't know where Uber falls on this. I don't know how responsible they are for this woman's photos being leaked. This is a complicated one, and I just don't know. I don't know what the solution is, to be perfectly honest. But now that it's been opened, let's have a discussion about it. What says you folks? Do you think this should have been headed off at the picture taking level, or do you think they have the right to take those pictures and that this is Uber's fault? Or do you say, hey, they have the right to take the pictures, but it's not Uber's fault, they should be going after the driver? What says you? This one's going to be very fascinating to read the comments on, and I would like to hear them, so, send them below. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. And as always, flame responsibly. I am going to be in pain all week thanks to a dental appointment. So, yeah. Anyway, catch you all later.